Now you'll find the answer to all your idea problems. Well, if you're having trouble coming up with ideas for videos, but let's just, okay, I'm stopping. G'day crew, and welcome back to the Do Video Podcast. I swear those are getting more dramatic as we go along. Where our aim is to get you and your business genuinely connecting with your customers through the best method at the moment, video. Because we can connect and cool stuff like that. I'm Zoe, the video confidence coach, your guide on today's wondrous depths into your psyche, but also your brain, trying to figure out creative ways of actually doing your videos. Like, what are the ideas that we can think of? Let's get started. So when generating ideas for videos, you want to be able to do a lot of things. You can Google options and have like lists of stuff to come together. And at the end of the episode, I'll be offering that to you as well, where we have a comprehensive list of ideas that you can come up with if you're ever feeling that stuck. But the one thing that I do in my business and what I recommend for other businesses like yourself to do, if you're ever feeling that stuck, is to write them down. Now, I know that probably doesn't help when you're stuck, but when you're being creative or when you're taking time out from your business, either with family, with friends, or even by yourself, when our brain is concentrating on something else, our subconscious in the back of our mind keeps working on the problem that we're having in the interim. So what you can do is take that time. If you're ever feeling stressed about ideas for your videos or what you can do to communicate with your audience, just take a step back, breathe, do something else for a bit. And then you'll find that the back of your brain keeps thinking about the problem and how you're going to fix it. And then when you're done, you can write down the ideas either in a workbook or a notepad that you carry around, or however you write it down. The point is that you write it down pen to paper, or text if that works better for you. But the reason I recommend pen to paper is because it usually means that it's going to be stored in your brain more, and it'll be able to help you think more creatively about it, because you can write down, okay, maybe it's going to be an idea of an FAQ video, but what is it actually referring to? And you can write little diagrams to yourself of that nature, and you can have a little bit more flexibility in actually remembering what your idea is, as opposed to FAQ, which usually means frequently asked questions, but that doesn't mean anything to you. What? You need to write these ideas down properly. And making sure you do this on a regular basis. So I'm not saying weekly, I'm not saying on a, pinpoint schedule of daily you have to come up with video ideas. But when you're feeling extra creative and your juices are flowing and you feel really creative, make sure you spend that time thinking back of, okay, how should I help my customer today? Or what are questions or answers or something that they really want to know? For example, a lot of mine are tutorials. A lot of people enjoy my InShot tutorial that I did and a couple of tutorials I did around that. So one thing that I'm definitely going to be focusing on and coming up ideas from is doing tutorials and doing tutorials using the apps that I've already done basic tutorials on, and being able to move on and say, look, tutorial on how to do something basic like fade video in and out, because those are the specific questions that people want the answers to. And if I'm able to provide that to them in a context of like, okay, how do I put an image on my video using my phone? Something as simple as that. That'll be able to give me a video idea that I can put together in a tutorial, make it easy for you guys to understand and digest. And that's the same thing I want to do with you guys, is I want you guys to, when you're feeling creative, write down your ideas and then transport them to somewhere you'll see them every day. Or don't write them in a book and just put them away, out of the way. Put them somewhere you will actually go back to them. And when you need to do video work, or when you need to create your quick scripts, or have any more, more thinking of your ideas and actually come up with a way of how you're actually going to do it, either using a script or using the quick script that we have at Video Confidence Coach, which is nice and easy. Download it below. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. You'll be able to have a better idea of, okay, I know what I want to do, and because it's right there in front of you most of the time, either on your desk or on a notebook that you use regularly, or either on a spreadsheet or something of that nature that you see every day, you'll be able to constantly generate those ideas and even have better ideas than what you had before. Say, for example, if you had an idea of answering a specific question about, if you're a florist, for example, what is the difference between a clay pot and a plastic pot? And for those commenters below, yes, I am aware I use floristry as an example. I'm just saying it's a good example and I keep using it. Back to where we were. And say, for example, that could be your start idea, saying the difference between clay and plastic ones, and that could be your starting idea. Then you realize, maybe that won't work too well because I've already either done a video on it, or it's a fairly simple example. But maybe you can talk to people at the difference between terracotta and, sandstone. Is that a thing that people make out of pots? I don't know. But you can talk about that difference, saying, yes, they're both natural items, but the reason it does differently and it works for different plants and blah, 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 blah. You can come up with a more cohesive idea from that main idea that you had forever ago. And I want to give you guys a couple of pointers for creating your ideas. So yes, you can go for a walk, you can talk to your family and friends, you can step out of your business, step out of your mind for a little sec and concentrate on something else that's not your business for a change. Now that we've finished off that section, let's move on to some genuine ideas, the list of ideas, if you will. But let's get to a sponsor first. Trying to find a space to practice, perfect, or even just explore your next great idea can be hard to find, especially in regional Victoria. Our studio space is in the Creative Geelong Makers Hub and is ideal for artists and makers, and also offers a recording studio for small-scale audio and video production. Come in and get that podcast started. Get that video for your website done. Or even get the band together for a jam session for the ages. We're located in the heart of Geelong, and you can find more at geelongmakers.com.au. That's geelongmakers.com.au. Equipment hire and expert assistance can be arranged for an additional fee. Thank you, sponsor. So now let's think of some ideas. So I can give you a list of ideas and you can work your way from there. What you'll notice down below is there is a checklist or a downloadable that you can download right now to get this list of what we're going to talk about today and a lot more. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Go download it, please. So for the list, I'm not going to move too quickly or too slowly. I'm just going to go through, mention it, give you an example and move on. All right, let's do it. First one, I mentioned at the top of the show, FAQs, frequently asked questions. Frequently asked questions are questions that your customers or potential customers, these are cold to warm to hot clients or customers, ask you about your either product or your service. So say, for example, one for mine would be, what do you charge for coaching? That's a general one that I always get, but also what does a confidence coach do? Or how long should my video be? Those type of questions are questions that are specific to me and my business, but they're ones that people ask all the time. If I meet them in person at going to networking events, or if they post it down below under one of my videos, or it's a question that people always ask. So if you actually do a quick video, 30 seconds, minute, 2 minutes max, answering that question, and because it's something that people will look up and people will type into Google, say, I want this question to this answer, Google is going to go through YouTube, provide you a video and say, look, someone has answered this exact question for you. Another option for ideas, but a way to generate them, is to ask people. Yes, you could ask your customers, but you can also ask your family, your friends. You can ask in forums, on Facebook. The reason that you want to be this generalized, and even though they're not specifically your customer avatar, see episode 2 for that, or the people that you're specifically targeting, the questions that they're going to ask are the same people that general people who don't know anything about your business are going to ask. So if you have something for them, like say, for example, I'll bring up the florist option. Florist option of if someone says, what flowers are in season, for example, as a florist, someone that you're not targeting will still ask that question. So if you're able to answer it and be able to bring more people into your sphere of knowledge and who know about you, they'll be able to recommend you to other people who are your target market. The circle of life. Another idea is your business story. So how you started the business, what it took you to get started, any hardships, anything like that. But you can put this on your website or you can put it wherever just to introduce people to you and your business. And for a lot of entrepreneurs and small business owners, it's just you. And even if it's you and a very small team, people would like to know about the people behind a business. They want to understand you, trust you before they're going to buy from you. Another popular one, especially on YouTube, is Draw My Life. Yes, this is about you as the business owner personally, but if people seem to find it soothing or they enjoy Draw My Life, which is where you draw either on piece of paper, usually speed it up, fast forward, and just talking with a voiceover about how was it like to grow up, why you started your business, that type of thing. It can be closely connected to your business story, but just in a Draw My Life fashion. Another option can be an opinion piece, so very much like a letter to the editor in a newspaper. Imagine those things. Oh, I haven't seen one in forever. But very much like that. In an opinion piece, you would talk about your opinion on something either within your industry or in your business or so forth. But people are interested in what other people have to say, especially experts. So if you're an expert in your industry and you want to do a video about your opinion on a specific trend in your business or what have you, being able to create that content gets people on board, and also they find you online, and then if they agree in your opinion, then they'll start following you and liking what you do. If they don't agree with your opinion, they'll still engage with you and bang for your buck. Another option is a tutorial. Yes, we do a lot of those on Video Confidence Coach, but the idea of a tutorial is to be able to give a step-by-step guideline on how to achieve something, how to use something. If you sell products, it's going to be very helpful for you. Even if it's just a quick, 30-second video on how to fold up one of your towels if you sell homewares, that's still something people want. And if you can provide it to them and say, hey, thank you for purchasing this towel, check out our videos on how to create towel animals. They do exist. And even though a lot of people probably wouldn't make towel animals, people still want to see how it's done. So if you can provide that in a nice, clean, easy to understand format, like video, for example, you're going to get a lot more people seeing your content and engaging with you more and trusting you more as a business because you've added extra on top of what you provided. They bought a towel off you, great, but you've also provided them like a tutorial on how to fold it, a tutorial how to make a swan or something of that nature. But you've given more than you said you would. Under promise, over deliver. Another one, especially for people in the tech industry, is what's on my phone. You can do this by recording, usually with this app. I will name it here. It's one that I use on my phone. But for anyone in the tech industry or people who do use apps, you can say what's on my phone and you can go through what's on your phone. Obviously nothing, don't show anything personal or private. But for anyone in that tech industry, you want to be seen as that person, expert in the industry. And if you can provide people a couple of options and say, hey, this is the app that I use to take notes, then people are going to love you for it. Another one is a day in my life. So as a coach or as someone who provides a service, you can talk about the day in your life of doing the work that you do. And people always like to see the behind the scenes or BTS of what it's like for specific professions. So if you're a lawyer, if you're an accountant, if you're a plumber, if you're a bricklayer, whatever you do, especially with services, products not so much because the products you can get them. But with services, people want to see what you guys do behind the scenes. So for a day in the life, you can just, get one of your family members, one of your friends to follow you around with the camera and you talk to it as if it's a human, and then just get an editor or wink, wink, nudge, nudge, Zebrafish Digital Media, someone to edit it down for you. And you'll be able to present the world with a nice, clear video of what is it like for an accountant? What does an accountant do day to day? And you might think that's boring. But for everyone else, they're interested. What does an accountant do every day? What does an accountant do in a day? Show them that. Another option for you is favorites. So you can talk about favorite colors that you like to use on your products that you provide, or favorite items that you have for that month or that week. If you sell products, you can talk about favorite types of jobs you like working on, or anything of that nature, but just a list of favorites that people would be interested in engaging with, because if you, the expert, like this thing, well then, there's a good chance I'll like it too. Nearing the end of this list here, let's talk about office tours. So, not everyone has an office, and I understand that, but the people that do have an office, especially one that faces the public or people that people can enter or have meetings in, having an office tour of your location is quite useful, especially when people are Googling you and they find on your website or in your YouTube or library and such, if they can walk into your office, clinic, your place of business without going in there, they instantly have more trust with you, and they also have a feeling of, oh, I've been here before, oh, I trust him, I've already met him. They haven't met you, they've only seen your videos, but they're instantly more connected with you and trust you more because of this. So I plan to do a tutorial eventually on that subject, but for an office tour, you want to make sure that you show it around, make it nice and slow, make sure it's full of people, or at least the normal amount of people that will be there. You can always get friends and family and just offer them a slice of pizza or something. But have people there in the room. And if you are in, say, a clinic or something that requires physical work, or even in a doctor's office, you can have someone or you talking to an actor, friends or family, wink wink, or a patient, and have them sitting in the position that the client would. And you can see, this is how it would be. I don't have to worry too much about, not knowing where I am or what I'm doing. You can see everything. The final one I'm going to mention on this list, remember we do have more in the description below, I'm going to stop saying that, is offer some advice. Now, I'm not talking if you're an accountant offering financial advice or if you're a lawyer offering legal advice, making sure that you give a disclaimer below in the description of your video and at the start of your video every time. But offering general advice about how people would go about doing something. So say, for example, if you are a lawyer and people want to know the right way or they want some advice on when they should contact a lawyer, well then you would offer that advice in general terms. Again, you're talking in general terms. You might be aiming for one person in particular or that type of person for your target market, but making sure that you keep it nice and general. Not so that you don't get sued, but mainly because you're providing advice, people can take it or leave it, but the point is that they have that advice there. And again, you are the expert, they want to take your advice. For a full list of sources, credits, and downloadables, feel free to check out the dovideopodcast.com website, or you can rate our podcast episode, on your favourite podcasting app. Or if you're looking at my lovely face and all the gestures that I make with my hands, my crazy hands, I was making my hands move for the people who are listening. You can find us on YouTube and maybe even subscribe. Maybe even comment below. Maybe comment with a question and then I'll answer it in another video. Looking for something to listen to while you wait for another Do Video podcast? Well, I have a suggestion for you. Check out the Smart Passive Income podcast by Pat Flynn. So Pat Flynn is a YouTube giant and everything in the business space. But this specific podcast usually works well with small business owners, entrepreneurs, people who are hustling and doing stuff for themselves. And the podcasts usually include helpful tips, interviews with other industry professionals. And because he has that, multiple websites, multiple businesses, as well as the YouTube stuff behind him as well, in that sense of his channels, the content that he provides is quite useful and very helpful and quite applicable in the sense of you can apply it to your business right there and then. Check it out. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or feedbacks, feel free to reach out to Video Confidence Coach on our social medias, on our websites, on Google, because I tried really hard to get Google to work for me, so please work. As the Video Confidence Coach, we aim to help you however we can. So we're about to start running some coaching. So if you are interested in the stuff that we've talked about, but specifically for your business and you want to have time one-on-one with me to discuss that, you can do so in groups or in individual coaching. Just check out the link below. Thank you for engaging with me today. And don't forget to tell your crew about how they can generate their own ideas for other things other in business, but also like videos as well. Bye.